Hi, I'm Emerson.
And I'm Olivia.
We're from the Santa Barbara Middle School Teen Press, and today we're here with...
Jim Whittaker.
Nice to meet you, Jim.
Nice to meet you. Emerson, Olivia, good to be here.
So Diane Roberts has been your partner in marriage, life, adventure?
For 45 years.
For 45 years.
Yeah.
Wow. So how did you meet her?
I was with the National Parks advisory group that Bush has just fired. The whole advisory board for the national parks. Anyway, I was on that with Lady Bird Johnson and so forth, and I had led a tour to Canada. Diane's Canadian, and she was head of national parks. Was the administrator for the head of National Parks Canada, and he assigned her to be the liaison as we toured Canadian national parks for 2 weeks. I'd been divorced a year and a half. We came into this meeting, and I looked over and saw Diane. I thought, oh, yeah, that's a nice gal, good, and so forth. I was never going to get married again. And then we did the tour. I mean, this is maybe too long. But we did the tour, and I had told her that we got a whole bunch of people. They're rich, and they're used to getting things. So be sure and have coffee breaks after breakfast at about 10 o'clock. So we're on the highway going through Banff National Park, the beautiful mountains, beautiful road. God, it was nice. And I knew the next restaurant was about an hour, 4 hours away or something. And I'm thinking, damn it, where are we going to get the coffee? And I see something on the side of the road up ahead. Our big bus with our tour group pulls over, and here's two tables laid out with napkins and silver and china and coffee laid out and everything. I thought, this is one smart woman. I thought, this is a smart woman. So anyway, it was love at first sight. Is that okay?
That's fantastic.
The film Return to Mount Kennedy follows the friendship between your family, the Whittakers, and the Kennedy family.
True.
In many ways, this film isn't just about the return to a mountain, but the return to values that you and Robert Kennedy shared. Can you tell us about those values?
Yes. Bobby was a wonderful guy, and we became lifelong friends. He always, he came from a wealthy family, but the president, John Kennedy, and Bobby, Teddy Kennedy, the whole family, the women, they all were looking out for other people. They knew that they had been given a gift. They were not only a gift of life, but the gift of being wealthy, in a sense. So they felt that they owed something to the rest of the world, and that seeing people that needed help and so forth, it just struck them so strong. So they had values for taking care of you. Bobby, when Martin Luther King was assassinated, Bobby was the only politician of the United States that went down into that group and told them how sorry he was that it happened and so forth. So, and when you wouldn't believe it, after he was assassinated, and I was Paul Bear, and we were on the train going to Arlington from New York to bury him. The railway was lined with people all the way, miles and miles of people standing out there. We love you, Bobby. You were our hope. So anyway, it was a beautiful connection he had with people that were less advantaged, didn't have the advantages that the Kennedys had. Yeah, and I believe the same thing in a way. And my thrust kind of now is diplomacy. You're not gonna. There's too many wars. I led a peace climb, Soviets, Chinese, and Americans in 1990. 3 countries that were enemies got us all together, and we stood on the highest point of earth and demonstrated to the world what could be done through friendship and cooperation. Soviet, Chinese, and American, arms around each other, highest point of earth, summit of summits. What could be done through friendship and cooperation, right? Yeah.
During the Q&A after your film, you said one of your goals is to have no child left inside.
You bet.
Tell us more about that.
Inside. Yeah. Okay. I just came when I was born in 1929. That's a long time ago, you guys. And I had a twin brother, identical. I was 10 minutes older than my twin brother Lou. But we'd wrestle in the house when we were growing up, and we had a brother 2.5 years older. So here's the 3 boys in the house. And mother'd say, go outside and play. Get outside and play. And so we'd go outside. In those days, we didn't have these things, and we didn't have. We had a radio. That's all. No television. We'd go outside and play. Man, we'd go outside. We'd climb the trees. We'd look at the clouds. We'd kick the can. Get a little can. Kick the can. We'd take walks. We'd run down to the beach. We lived in West Seattle. Go down to the beach. So anyway, we'd get outside, and you'd learn things about it. You'd learn that, my God, there's gravity. You could fall and get hurt. You could learn that you climb a tree, and you could, oh yeah, the handholds and so forth. And then you'd learn about swimming, and the water's cold, and then you'd fall and get bruised, and then you'd learn that you were afraid of heights, which was a gift God gave you. You better be afraid of heights. If you're not afraid of heights, you'll kill yourself. And I won't tie up with anyone on the climb. I guided Mountaineering. I've been up 80 times, taking people that never climbed before, and they'd say, well, I'm afraid of heights. I said, good. You better be afraid of heights. I wouldn't climb with you because you could kill us. I'm roped to you, you see. You could kill us if you're not afraid of heights. So anyway, outside. Get them outside because nature is the best teacher. My God, you learn about the wind. Do you know the name of these trees here? No, you don't. What the hell? They're aspens, okay? Or do you know what a fir? I mean, come on, learn nature. I mean, we're on a magical planet, okay? Mm-hmm. This is a magical planet. We've been given the gift of life. It's a gift, right? My God, we're so lucky to be on this thing, and we're going to check out someday, right? We're going to all check out, okay? Let's get out, learn it, and be with people. I've been to Pakistan. I've been all over the world. People are the same. People are the same. We all have common things. We all want what's best for our children. We all want, to see things, to learn things. So, yeah, get outside. No child left inside. Get the hell outside. Educate the bastards. Okay? All right, maybe you better cut that. Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your lesser-known mountaineering expeditions with your twin brother Lou?
About my brother Lou and what?
Like your expeditions that you would go on.
Okay. We climbed together a lot. We were really equal, and I was invited to Everest. So was Louis. Louis stayed because of business reasons, and REI was my company. I was the only full-time employee in 1955. That's my first year there, and I worked there 25 years. Anyway, they paid my way to go to Everest. Louis didn't have a sponsor at that time. So anyway, I climbed Everest, and then I invited him to K2, the second highest in the mountain in the world. We didn't get the mountain on that one, but we went back 2 years later and climbed it. Led the first successful descent of K2. That's the second highest mountain in the world, just about 800 feet lower than Everest. That's in Pakistan. That's where you meet different people. And you're all the same way. You all get hungry. You all need sleep. People are the same. We went back out the 2 years after being there. We'd walk into some of the shops we'd been in Pakistan. We'd walk in and some guy, they'd see us. Oh, my brother! We hadn't seen us for 2 years. People are all over, friendly. Children, they're friendly. Yeah.
So you mentioned how everyone is kind of brothers. So that sounds very similar to your goal with the mission on Everest that you led with climbers from the USSR, from China, and from the U.S. So tell us about what the goals of that mission were.
Yeah, well, it was Soviet Union, and at that time, now it's Russia, but this was 1985 about. We got the idea of there are 3 countries in the world that can blow it up, that have the atomic bombs. And so the Chinese, the Soviets, and the Americans, we were the only ones that had it. So we had the power to ruin the planet. So why not have a peace climb with our enemies? Okay, let's go to the top. Take our enemies, people that we've bought building weapons to kill, get together and have a summit on the summit. Stand on the highest point of the earth, a Chinese, an American, and a Russian. three on the summit, arms around each other, demonstrating what can be done through friendship and cooperation. The three leaders of the countries, we talked. It worked. It worked. Anyway, there's so much to say. I haven't got another 5 minutes or something. What do you got? 5 minutes or more?
You've got as long as you want.
But there was this thing. I mean, it was, people, mountaineering friends, my brother Lou, you'll never do it. To get three on the summit from, it'd be an international climb. We don't speak the same language. We eat different foods. We got different philosophies. And you're going to get these people. We wanted to kill each other. You're going to get them together. Yeah. And so I got a permit to climb Everest from the Chinese. Okay. Then I went to the Soviets and said, listen, I've got a permit to climb Chinese. We're going to have a peace climb. We're going to take a Soviet, and I explained this to them. When I'm talking, there's 9 people that control sports in the Soviet Union at that time. This was 1988. And this guy, I finished explaining, and this guy comes up, got a big muscular guy, one of these no-neck guys. He turned out to be the #1 wrestler in the world. And he's crying. He's about 80 years old, but he comes up and he's crying like this, and he said, the Soviets don't want war. The people, we don't want war. We want, what you're doing is the most important thing. This was translated to me. He's standing there crying. Here's the interpreter, and I'm standing here beginning to cry. And he says, we don't want war. The Soviets lost 2 million people in World War II. He said, no, we don't want war. This is the most important. So they said, yes, we will participate. So I went to the Chinese. I said, okay, I've got the Chinese. Now I was talking to the Chinese people. We haven't had Soviets in our country for 30 years. I said, I know, what an opportunity we got here. They said, yeah, we'll think about it. Then they, 6 months later, said, okay, you can bring your Russian friends, Soviet friends in, but we won't participate. And I said, wait a minute, you got to participate, you're enemies. We don't have the climbing abilities that the Soviets and Chinese have. So, anyway, I negotiated, but finally they said, okay, we'll be a part of it. We brought them over on Mount Rainier for a shakedown. The Soviets climbed Rainier 5 times with a group, learned how to swear a little bit in Russian, and learned how to find a toilet in Chinese. We went over there and killed them. It was written up as the most successful climb in Everest history. I had 5 climbers and 5 support people from each country. The support people, we had interpreter, when it was interpreter, because we couldn't talk to each other. Another was doctors. We didn't want to get acupunctured. They didn't trust our doctors, so we had 3 doctors, okay? And we had 3 base camps. So anyway, we ended up camps in. We got, instead of 3 on the summit, we got 6 on the summit. And then in the next 4 days, ran everybody else up because I had bottled oxygen and we had tents in, and we ran them up. We put 20 on the summit. We had 15 climbers. People said, how the hell did you do that? Who were the others? We sent one of the interpreters up. One of the cooks went to the summit. One of the doctors went to the summit. 20 people, written up as the most successful climb in Everest history. I talked to President Bush. We talked to Gorbachev. We talked to Li Ping. All 3 so all around the world it went. The first Soviet woman on the summit stood on top. I speak for all the women in the world that there be no borders on this planet. Let us make a safe and clean world for our children and their children and their children and their children. And anyway, it was a great success. Great success, yeah. In fact, Hornbein, who climbed Everest with me 3 weeks after I climbed it, he went up a route that had never been climbed, he and Unsold. They got trapped by darkness up there and didn't get down, and neither did the other party that went up my route. They're supposed to meet on top and take them all down to the next high camp. They got trapped by darkness, the highest bivouac in the world. They laid down at 28,000 feet. No bottled oxygen, no water, 35 below zero. And they just lay there waiting for daylight. And then they started down. Toes were chopped off. They lost some fingers. Everybody lived. It was fantastic. And Hornbein tells me that the most important thing I'd ever done was not the first American to climb Mount Everest. It was the leader of a peace climb for Soviets, Chinese, and Americans. That's the most important thing you've done.
So in relation to those goals that you were striving for when you led the peace climb, like where do you think we are now so many years later?
Yeah, we got a lot of problems. The military is too strong. We got to get some interaction going with the people. We want to get the people over into these other countries, not the military. The military has taken over the diplomatica. Don't get me started on this, but now the military, look at the generals we got in the White House. Son of a, I mean, God, excuse me. But no, you know, you're not going to win wars with weapons. You're going to just kill. And you've got to talk eventually, you know. You have to, and pretty soon we're going to be smart enough, I hope. Guys, you know, you got to get smart. You get smart, diplomatic corps, things like that. Our son is getting a PhD, Diane getting a PhD in archaeology. He's in Indonesia right now, learned Indonesian. He's talking to people that, you know, learning about things, and so, you know, God, it's nice. And he's diving on a sunken ship with cannons on it that he just discovered and doing stuff. He's getting out in the world, and he loves nature. Our children love nature. Our son Leaf, the youngest, right now as we talk, is skiing Denali. He's a ski ascent of Denali. He's coming, and he's climbed Everest twice, this guy, my son. Huh?
So if you were to give us kids one homework assignment to take back home, what would it be?
Get outside. Get outside and look at the trees and look at, you know, name a fir, a pine tree. Learn about nature, learn about gravity, learn about walk and hike and stay physical and stay strong and explore. But get out into nature and also get out into other people. Get out with people. And you can do anything. You can find a passion and go for it. And like the Soviet woman on the summit, we want to pass this on to our children. So we want you to have children. We want you to pass it on. We want to save the planet now, keep it as nice as it can be so we can give it to you guys. And we've screwed it up in some ways, right? Yeah, we've kind of messed it up. We think maybe you can do better. But we've got to strive to, you know, we're lucky to be on this planet. And well, let's take care of it. It's Mother Nature, right? Our mother is the planet. So okay, good luck to you guys.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Pass my good luck on to your people. Say, you know, you're young, you're strong, you got the energy, you got everything is in front of you. I mean, what tremendous opportunities you've got. Jeez, go out and take them. Yeah, go get them. Go get them.
Thank you so much. It was great to meet you.
Okay, good to meet you. Yeah, more power to it. See, up in the mountains.
Yeah.
Come up to Rainier. You come up, get out and enjoy the stuff, huh? Yeah, good. Okay.
Thank you. It was great to meet you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, good. And lots of luck.
Thank you so much. I love your shoes.
Okay. Okay.
I got the black ones.
Yeah, they're comfortable.
Yeah.
They're really comfortable. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Thank you.